And welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Typhoon's TV. 2 minutes with Typhoon, or whatever you want to call this one. I don't even know what to call this one. Just following up from yesterday. As you know, I put on Twitter. Once again, it's the Fantasy Typhoon. Just Google the being the Fantasy Typhoon. The Fantasy Typhoon, aka the Mentalist, aka your favorite analyst. Now, let me just jump into this right quick. It'll be quick, outpatient treatment, in and out, quick. It won't hurt, painless. Just looking at the Arizona Cardinals offense yesterday left me with a lot of questions. So as you know, what we do here, Fantasy Football 101, is, we kind of dig. We want to give you, the X's and O's. Because at the end of the day, man, it's just football. You just put fantasy in front of it, but at the end of the day, your score is football. Football, NFL can continue without fantasy. Fantasy can't do nothing without a football in the air, period. So your moves, the numbers is the outcome of the play. We go back and dissect the why. Well, why was it 5 yards a carry? Well, why did he get 10 yards a carry? Why? The film and the coaches, head coaches, offensive coordinators' tendencies, the GMs, the front office, and the moves being made tells you the story of how it got to 5 yards a carry, so you get a better understanding of what's happening, as far as your breakdowns and your recommendations. It gives you a little bit more in depth. So what I did, I went to Our Lads, so my friends at Our Lads, so shout out to ourlads.com, because I'm sitting back looking at NFL Network. Like I said, I'm off the next 2 weeks, so beautiful. It kind of happened in a good way. So now I can kind of sit back and immerse myself with this, all of this data, not number data, all of this information, coming from all these angles. You sit back, you look at Twitter, just pull up the timeline, just let it go, and just sit back and just kind of observe, and then you kind of sit back and turn on ITC or NFL Live, and you just sit back and just intake football knowledge, intake knowledge of the game, and then you kind of see where things are going. First off, the first thing we do here at Fantasy Football 101, we got to, out of all of this, we got to find the main piece. What is the straw that stirs the drink? Who is the man? Where does this thing, if this person goes, where does it fails? Kind of like with the Cowboys. If you dissecting the Cowboys, it all starts and stops with Zeke. It's built around Zeke. He's the centerpiece. You move over to the Giants. You kind of looking at with a depth chart. Where does this thing start and stops with? It starts and stops with Barkley. And so forth and so on throughout the NFL. So that gives you your first foundation building block. And with this offense, the air raid offense, the hurry up tempo, offense that Cliff Kingsbury is running, and up tempo, this right here, that right there, that's the straw that stirs the drink, right there. That should be your number one target on this team. Absolutely. You in redrafts, get him. He's good late round pick. I wish I would have done all this before, Scott Fishbowl. I would have, because he fell at a nice sweet spot, and I saw him, and I kind of just maneuvered around him, and he was, that right there Kyler Murray late, that's a game changer. Because this is going to be an up-tempo offense. They're going to give you, how can I explain this to you? Just by saying more than up-tempo. All right, think of your team at the end of the game. It's under 3 minutes left, right before the 2-minute warning. You're down 14. You just got the ball at the 5-yard line, your own 5, and you need 2 scores. So what do? You kind of, sometimes, in some cases, you take your tight end off the field. Because if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kyler Murray and your 5 offensive linemen got to be on the field. Right? So you got 11 players, so that leaves room for 5 more folks to play. Right? Fitzgerald's playing, Kirk's playing, that's 8, so you got 3 more guys to put on the field. David Johnson, 9, so now you got 2 more. Are you going tight end, or are you adding another receiver from one of these? Like I was saying, now when it's under 3 minutes, you kind of spread it out. You go what you call eagle formation or W formation. That's the term. You spreading it out. And the reason why you spread it out, it's a college concept, and the reason why you spread folks out is because you're inefficient in talent. It's better for these guys to go one-on-one as opposed to having the defense zone in on somebody. So that's kind of why you do a spread, eagle formations. That's why it's kind of why they're building around the eagle formation. The W formation is the simple fact that they're devoid of talent. Now, with that being said, as you know, during the 2-minute offense is basically what it's going to be. A 2-minute offense that's going to be ran pretty much all game. They're going to be in 2-minute drill. When you see folks 2-minute drills, this is their offense, is a 2-minute drill. So now your number one cog piece is Kyler Murray. Get him. If you're in Dynasty, go get Kyler Murray. Dude throws an excellent ball. He has an excellent release, excellent vision, and most of all, he is an expert at the offense that they're running. It's a college offense. He's an expert at this offense. He knows it pretty much like the back of his hand. He knows it pretty much more than Cliff Kingsbury. So that's in lockstep, those two, as far as install. Kyler Murray is like an offensive coordinator on the field, which is huge. So he knows the offense. So this is your cog piece. Now, with that being said, all of these guys are going to play. Fitzgerald will play. Christian Kirk's going to play. Kevin White's going to play. Keyshawn Johnson, Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler, Trent Sheffield. The reason why they're going to play is because they're going to be moving at warp speed. Especially early on, these guys are going to be out of shape. It's a different thing doing it in practice and doing it in the game. Going up and down the field, running. Run your routes. You know how it is. You run your routes. You're going way downfield. Let's say if Christian Kirk got a 9 route. He runs all the way down the field, and it's just a simple dump off to Charles Clay for 3 yards. Christian Kirk just ran 40, 50 yards. Now he has to run back because it's up tempo, get back on sides, get the ball set once the referee says, hi, boom, they're in another play. So these guys are going to be exhausted. So all of these guys are playing. And when you're in that air raid, up-tempo type style of offense, that you don't have as far as the wide receivers. I love Larry Fitz, but he's not going to be the main guy. There won't be that that one guy like your Michael Thomases or your Julio Jones or your Mike Evans that's just going to be all right. This is our number one X wide receiver, type traditional pro style type offense. Well, all right, this is our number one. All of these guys are going to be number one. Number one is going to be dictated as opposed to whether it's cover two, whether it's cover one, whether it's the safeties down in the box. All of that dictates where the ball is going. So there's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking. So you see what I'm saying? So the offense is going to be predicated around 3 to 5 yard dump offs to the tight end, to the running back out of the backfield. To Kevin White on a quick crosser, wide receiver screen to Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying? An quick 5 yard out route to Larry Fitzgerald. So there's going to be a lot of quickness to it. So the ball's coming out. You see what I'm saying? They're going to take deep shots. Don't get me wrong. But the offense the short passes is going to be an extension of the run game. So which brings me to David Johnson. David Johnson should flourish, and David Johnson should flourish as much. One, it's up tempo. Two, they're running more plays than everybody else. Three, hopefully that should get him more red zone looks. Four, he's going to interchange with Chase Edmonds is a guy. Hey, that's a late flyer to pick up that'll come in and maybe get you a touchdown here and there. He's going to have a role when David Johnson comes off the field. You can dump a couple off to Chase Edmonds. Boom, 5 catches. 5 catches and a couple of runs and a touchdown. That's 11. Five good catches for 50 yards or so. A good pop. He can give you 11, 14 points with everybody on the field. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's kind of Kyler Murray, David Johnson might put up. Man, it's kind of hard for me to really put where David Johnson is going to fall. David Johnson could finish number one. I didn't stutter. It's a lot here for David because all this air raid, which means they're going to be pretty much a nickel. Boom, run the ball. Wide open lane. David Johnson is going to eat. I'm talking about yardage at clips. Then when they go, because this is an empty formation, they start him out in the backfield. Kyler Murray audibles. Boom, David Johnson is coming out the backfield. Now he's another wide receiver on the line, running routes. David Johnson has proven he can do this. It's in his skill set. Now David Johnson out there David Johnson might catch 10 passes in one game and a touchdown, and then run for 100 yards and a touchdown. It could be a regular theme for him. David Johnson might eat, folks. It's a strong possibility. Now, between your Larry Fitzgerald, your Christian Kirk, your Kevin Whites, and your Keyshawn Johnsons, your Andy Isabella, your Hakeem Butler, your Pharaoh Cooper, your Chad Williams, your Isaac Ezekiel, your A.J. Richardson, your Demir Bird, and the thing that shook airwaves yesterday, folks really didn't realize it, but they thinking about bringing in a 30-plus-year-old Michael Crabtree, who comes from the air raid offense, so he understands the concepts of it. So they really don't have to he have to learn the terminology but it's pretty much the same concept. The base is the same as what he did in college, and they looked at him. I know they said they signed him, and it was false report, a little premature. It came from Pro Football Talk, was the one that said that it was a definite signing. Everybody else said it was a contract on the table, but Pro Football Talk went as far as said it was signed. So that's where your signed information came from. You're supposed to know this. When you an expert at this, you gotta dig, man. You gotta get in here and figure this out. You got to understand the game. You got to know where the ball's going, and in this offense here, Christian Kirk could have a big day. Now, before it's all said and done, by the time we get to week 16, somebody here is going to build a rapport. Somebody here is going to build a rapport with Kyler. I don't think it's going to be Larry. It could be here, Andy Isabella, or it could be Christian Kirk. A lot of pre-camp hype on Keyshawn Johnson, but I haven't heard a defensive player step up and say, "Man, this dude is hard to this dude is killing me out here." I can't really take a beat reporter's point of view, so that's why I kind of went ahead and did this a little earlier, because this team suits up Thursday night. I think it's Thursday or Friday night. I think it's Thursday night. These guys play. And of course, they're going to be vanilla with it. Now, they're going to come out wide. They're going wide. That's what the offense is. But they're just going to be totally plain vanilla on what they're doing. They're not going to run any schemes or any actual plays from the play sheet. They're just going to pretty much get out there and just run around a little bit. Let Kyler just kind of throw the ball. They've been playing against their defense this whole time. So, man, Kevin White might be worth a flyer here. A first round pick, pedigree. Yeah, I don't know, man. As of course, things will come to light a little bit more. Odds-on favorite is Christian Kirk, is the one that's going to find the favoritism, and it's the one that's going to kind of separate himself from the pack. Backup could be Andy Isabella. You're short. Look, I've been telling you guys this, that 6 foot and under wide receiver, these guys are starting to take over as opposed to your Julio Jones and your Mike Evans and your Michael Thomas and your DK Metcalfs and your what's the guy from Denver? Can't think of his name. The one that just got in a fight with Emmanuel Sanders. You know what I'm talking about, the big guy, Cortland Sutton. These guys are being slowly, man. That big body is kind of slowly phasing out for the Andy Isabellas, the Hunter Renfros, the Christian Kirk, the Marquise Browns, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman. These guys is a slight shift because the rules are skewed to the offense. They want big plays, man. These short, faster guys that can get in and out of these breaks. Man, it's a new day in the NFL. This is what to expect, especially if this works. If this works, I don't know if I would trade Kyler Murray. I might would trade Kyler Murray the next year because defensive coordinators are smart. And I'll end with this. Kyler Murray is going to be a complete stud. David Johnson, it's endless. Opportunities are going to be endless here. It's something here. Late though. Late. It's something there. You might need a bye week guy just to kind of just pop in there. Hey man, just close your eyes. What the heck, flex for a week. Just throw them out there and just kind of see what you got. Right here, truly, I wouldn't touch any of these. I wouldn't touch any of this because it's just unknown, and it's pretty much you're closing your eyes, just throwing a dart. You're closing your eyes with all these names on the dartboard, and you're just throwing a dart with blindfolded, and anyone can pop. It's week in, week out, man. Keyshawn Johnson is getting a lot of hype, but at the end of the day, man, here's what I suggest. Kyler Murray, David Johnson. If you really have to, if you're an Arizona fan and you really want to take a stab at one of these guys, take a stab. myself, I'm taking a flyer on Kevin White. No, $0. Pick him up in my dynasty league off the waiver. Hey, let's just see. If he don't pan out, fine. I cut him. I have no problem looking for the. I'd rather have take a shot on a flyer than actually invest some draft capital for somebody who might not pan out. Um, Now, with that being said, let's just say this offense is a success, and we're doing this time next year. I would sell Kyler Murray in between that little off season, between the end of the season and rookie drafts. In between that little window right there, I would sell Kyler Murray because what's going to happen is this is the NFL. I'm giving you NFL knowledge. These are facts. The NFL defensive coordinators during the offseason might be the smartest bunch, might be the hardest working, smartest group of coaches in the NFL. They're going to sit down, they're going to dissect it, they're going to look at his hands, they're going to look at his movements, they're going to look at his snap count, they're going to look at the run splits, they're going to look at the line formations, they're going to look at who's on the line of scrimmage, they're going to dissect this thing and come up with the antidote. So, the question will be next year, if this is a success, save me from doing another podcast later, does Cliff Kingsbury have part 2 to this? Because if not, this is going to be a Chip Kelly, come out, be a success, figure it out, you're out the NFL. Simple. It's just that simple. All right. I just want to just sit back, folks, and just give you what we sitting here in the film room and just sitting back, man, just kind of glossing over and doing a little bit more research on this Arizona offense. And I kind of wanted to just go ahead and put something together and push it out, get it out to you before they play. Now, when they play, if new information, reveals itself, I may come back and sit down and do a part 2 to this and kind of help you fill in the blanks here, because I would be doing you a disservice if I chose one of these. Anybody in fantasy, if you ask them who's going to be the number 1 for the Cardinals and they give you a name, that's a disservice. Numbers not going to tell you this. Talent, it's not really going to tell you this until you really take a look at it. You step back and you look at it. Some things, folks, we as experts just don't have an answer. And I don't have an answer for you. I'd rather tell you I don't know instead of guess. We don't guess. We don't use gut. We give you straight up information. Then we make a recommendation like what we just did, and then you sit back and take it because you don't hear this. You take it in, and then you make your own decision. All right, guys. Just want to sit back and touch base with you right quick. Arizona Cardinals offense. I want to say part 1. I'll say part 1. We'll come back and do it again. Part 1.